All right, so you get home, you're looking at your photos, you're looking at your footage, and things are looking choppy or things are looking blurry. And you're like, yo, what is happening? It didn't look like this when I took the photo, and I don't understand why it's happening now. Chances are it's your shutter speed or your shutter angle, and it's a very important piece to the exposure triangle. What's going on, y'all? Daniel Lou here, and if you're ready to level up and get the cleanest image possible, definitely hit the subscribe button. And yeah, let's jump right into shutter speed and what exactly is it? So quick history about shutter speed and why we use these words to explain this function is because older cameras or even film cameras use the actual shutter to let light into the camera to capture the shot. So pretty much shutter speed controls how long your camera sensor is exposed to light. For example, a shutter speed like 1/1000 freezes the action. It's great for sports, wildlife, or anything that's moving really fast. On the other end, a slow shutter speed like 1/30 lets in more light, but it adds motion blur, and it's great for low light, or even adding creative effects like light trails. So let's talk about real world use. Now for video, it's super simple. I don't want you to overthink it or make it harder than it's supposed to be. Shutter speed is supposed to be double the frame rate. Perfect example, if your frame rate is 24 frames per second or 23.986 or whatever it is, you want to get the closest to double in your camera that you can set it to. For most systems, that setting would be 1/48 or 1/50. Now, if your camera has the luxury of shutter angle, it definitely makes this easier. You just want to make sure your camera is set to shutter angle 180. Now, a lot of times you can see this rule broken in like war movies where there's a lot of things going on, and that higher shutter speed kind of adds to the intensity of the shot. But again, in most cases, double it, set it, and forget about it. So for photography, it's a little different. The rule is commonly known, whatever your focal length is, you want to double it. For example, if you're shooting on a 50mm lens, you want to shoot at a 1/100 to make sure you don't get any blur. Specifically with photography, there's a lot of creative things you can do when you play around with the shutter speed. One of the most common things we see is light trails, whether it's in traffic, with flashlights, or even fireworks. People are able to get some really creative ideas off by lowering the shutter speed and creating movement in front of the camera. But if you're capturing fast action like sports, perfect example would be football or soccer. Pretty much where you or the subject is moving quickly, the higher shutter speed is definitely ideal to make sure you get the image as clean and as crispy as possible. A rule of thumb to always remember is the lower the shutter speed, the more light you introduce. The higher the shutter speed, the more light you take away. Shutter speed does more than just set your exposure. It really controls the feel and emotion of your photo or video. It's a key component to the exposure triangle and definitely needed to get the best shot possible. If you're interested in learning about ISO or aperture, feel free to click the boxes on the screen. And until next time, see y'all later.